Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. This is a Saving Savvy episode, and this is actually part 1 out of 6, a little mini-series, and the title of the series is How I Lost Over 100 Pounds Without Dieting. Now, first of all, I'm not trying to sell you anything, so don't get worried about that. In fact, I think most of those things that people sell are kind of BS. That's my personal opinion, but it's pretty much based in medical fact. Also, this is not medical advice, although I'm a medical doctor. This is my personal opinion on all of this stuff, and your mileage may vary. So I'm not trying to promote anything, but everything I'm saying here is pretty reasonable. So this 6-part series will start out with my history. So chapter 1, this video today is going to be on my weight history, just to give you some idea. And then we're going to move into the various steps that I took that really pretty much changed my life, not only weight-wise, but in other ways too. So my history is as follows. I was pretty much normal weight and came from a pretty much normal weight family up until about probably 6th grade or so. And then I started to rapidly gain weight. Now, I honestly can tell you in my heart of hearts that I did not change my eating patterns or my exercise patterns. Maybe it was hormonal, going through puberty, probably was stress related, but I just started putting on the weight. In fact, I would look at my friends who were overweight and they would be eating much, much more than I was eating, and I was still gaining weight. By early 8th grade, I decided I had enough, and I was getting a tremendous amount of grief from my family. And surprisingly, in a supportive way, my mother agreed to let me try Metrical, which was sort of the Slim Fast of its day. And I did that for a few weeks and had some success, and then something strange happened. One of my sister's, well, actually my sister's boyfriend at the time, had lost about 30 pounds using something called the drinking man's diet. Now, the drinking man's diet is basically a low carbohydrate diet. It's before Atkins was Atkins. So, Atkins didn't develop the low carb diet. He just kind of exploited it. That diet was out before, and I got a little book at the grocery store. It was one of those little 35-cent books, and it had the carbohydrate count of a bunch of foods, and I think you were allowed 30 carbograms a day or something, and I did that. And initially I had tremendous success and probably lost over 80 pounds, maybe close to even 100 pounds that first time around, and kind of became the dieting guru of everyone because I lost so much weight and I was so young. But like most situations, over a couple of years, I regained that weight again and tried to go back on that diet. This time it was much harder for me to lose, but I found that if I followed it really precisely by measuring everything out and using a diet scale, I could have success again. And that pattern has repeated itself through my life. I'm now very close to retirement age, and every time I would cycle in another diet cycle, it would be more and more difficult for me to lose weight. In fact, the last many times that I've tried to lose weight, even going on diets where the food was all pre-measured like Nutrisystem or Seattle Sutton or Jenny Craig, my weight loss would be so slow that people automatically assumed that I was cheating. And I'm a very compulsive person, and I can guarantee you that if I'm spending money to lose weight, I'm going to follow that diet. And I just would not lose weight. And a pattern that sort of developed in the last maybe 15 years or so is typically in maybe September or sometime I would go on one of those structured diets like Seattle Sutton or Jenny Craig or Nutrisystem or something, and I would stick to it up until about Thanksgiving. And from September to Thanksgiving, it's possible that I lost 2 or 3 pounds sticking to the diet. I then would maybe eat a little bit on Thanksgiving, gain a few pounds, just eating normal food, although I know it's very calorie-rich food, for a day or two, go back on the diet, maybe drop 1 or 2 of those pounds. Then Christmas would come along, and on just a weekend of Christmas, like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I could easily gain 6 pounds, not eating tons of food, but eating kind of the cookies and everything. And then it would take me another 6 months to drop that. So it would be pretty frustrating, and I was constantly moving up the scale of my eating pattern. Well, this happened for many years, and I was getting more and more discouraged. And one day I was at work, working as a doctor, and I bent over or something, and I split my pants. And that was an incredibly degrading day for me. And I literally had to go into the bathroom and staple them together with a stapler so I could finish my day. Because of course I'm a doctor, and of course I'm extremely responsible, and of course God forbid that I would cancel the rest of my day, even though I felt absolutely terrible and embarrassed and horrified. So I stapled my pants together and came home. And by kind of the grace of God, my wife was up. I was working late that day. And I just broke down and I was crying, and I says, I've got to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I had read about the gastric banding that was available, and I knew my insurance wouldn't cover it because we had terrible insurance. I was paying out of pocket for this insurance, and this was many years ago, and it was very expensive and not very good. And my wife said, well, you should just do it. I said, well, I'm going to have to pay for this out of pocket, thinking she'd say, don't do it. She says, no, just do it. And so I spent well over $20,000 of my own cash to get a gastric band. What did that do? Did I lose some weight? I did lose some weight. But I also had a lot of significant consequences, and still have those consequences today, including things like if I eat too fast, my esophagus goes into a spasm and I start throwing up. That can go on for hours and hours, well, long after the food has left me. It's a horrible feeling, like someone's choking you. So for me personally, I don't know if the gastric band was such a good idea, but I did lose some weight, and it did prevent me from gaining back quite as quickly, although my body is very adaptive and wants to be fat, and it switched to sugar. So what I found is, over the last few years before I lost the weight, is that my diet would completely shifted, where I absolutely craved anything that was highly concentrated with sugar. And that would be anything from ice creams to donuts to pie to cookies to anything at all. And I could recall getting up in the morning and finding stale donuts on the countertop and grabbing one of them and just shoving it in my mouth because I was literally addicted and shaking for that sugar. Well, I wasn't eating that much food, but I was eating a lot of sugar. And the weight started piling on, first slow, then faster, then faster, then faster. And pretty much I was back to where I was. Now, again, the band did slow that process up towards the beginning, but when I switched over to sugar, things got really crazy again. And with the sugar came even additional problems, which I'll talk about in future videos. So that was my history. And I will tell you that before I lost this weight, I was absolutely convinced that I could not lose weight because I had tried the scheduled diets. I was eating often 1,200 calories a day and not losing weight. I was very, very good on the diets. I was not cheating at all, but I kept on slowly gaining weight, or sometimes if I'd go out and even just for a couple of days, if I'd go out and maybe have a candy bar a day, I would start gaining pounds. So that was a very frustrating time, and I thought, well, this is just the way it is. And unfortunately, when you're a fat person, it's one thing to be fat and to stay fat at a certain weight. It's another completely different thing to realize that, hey, I'm at this weight, but I know in a year I'll be at this weight, and I know in a year after that I'll be in this weight. There was really no stopping. There was not like a set fat point that I was at. It was just gain, and then gain some more, then gain some more, then gain some more. And I was becoming less mobile, and I had trouble bending over, and I couldn't climb a flight of stairs without gasping, and I really couldn't walk more than probably a block without feeling terrible. It was a terrible situation. So I had pretty much given up on the thought of weight loss, and I was trying to accept who I was as a overweight, morbidly obese person. And my goal was not so much to lose weight, but I started to make changes, and I think a lot of this had to do with higher power. A lot of this had to do with other influences that impact me, and I'm sure impact other people too in many ways. That I started to make other changes in my life. And those are the changes that I'm going to talk about in the next 5 videos. How these changes occurred and how they really had nothing to do with weight loss in the beginning, but really they were the ultimate reasons why I lost over 100 pounds. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in episode 2. Oh, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like this channel, please subscribe and listen to my podcast. You want to know more about me? Read my blog, drmikekuna.com, drmikekuna.com, and bye-bye.